right. So today is Thursday, August 24th, 2023. And we want to practice interpreting this dream. This is a really good dream. And let me see. What did I do with the recording of it? Oh, it's on the page. You can go there and get it. So this stream is called Tied Up. So let me pull that up. And then we'll pray. Okay. Exactly. All right. So Heavenly Father, we come before you. We thank you for this day. We thank you for dreams, for vision, encounters in the spiritual realm. We thank you that you have torn the veil and allowed us in to have full access to you, to be able to experience and encounter everything that concerns and involves you. We thank you that we don't have to be without revelation and understanding. We thank you, Holy Spirit, for the role that you play in dreams. We submit this one to you, submit our spirits to you to receive from you, and we're asking to hear your voice as we proceed. We also thank you for the dreams that we're receiving in this season and decree that full understanding will come to us as necessary. Amen. All right, so let's listen to this dream.
Good morning. So I have a question. I'm not sure if I should submit it, if I should just ask
everybody here
or submit it on your website.
Yes.
I had this really strange dream. Ever since I had such a breakthrough last week in the session, I've actually been dreaming again, which is awesome. But this morning, I should say, I had the strangest dream, and in this dream, my husband was getting ready for work like he does, and I'm usually under my blanket because I love cuddling under my blanket. And as he was getting ready to leave, this is in the dream. I said, okay, love you, you are normal. Kiss me on the forehead. I said, okay, love you. I taught you. He walks out the door, and then he stops, and then he turns off the light in the hallway, which just isn't unusual. But then he turns it off, turns around, and comes back in the room. I said, hey, what's up? Did you forget something? And while he's walking towards me, I see someone behind him, but I couldn't make out who the person was. The person was much smaller than him. So it might have been a lady, might have been a shorter man. I'm not sure. But he walks up to me, and I say, hey, what's up? And then he pulls out of his pocket like twigs or like a rope. So what are you doing? And then he starts to tie my feet up. And I start to, I said, baby, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I jump up out the bed, and he was actually still in the room getting dressed because I was wrong, and I did share the dream with him. But it was just really strange. Not too sure that, I don't know what that means at all. Just wanted to kind of just run that by you while I'm still fresh in my mind. But I thought that was a very strange dream because he was tying my feet up.
Okay. So I saw that you guys put some insights in there's a fly that is annoying me. Listen, you're going to have to just fall down and die because you're getting on my nerves here. Goodness. Okay. So you put some insights in there. Sounds like she has a good relationship with the husband. Maybe small demon of fear or anxiety following husband. Tied up feet shaking her foundation. Is it something a demon has cursed the husband with? Death, illness, or other? My feelings say death, but my feelings don't dictate. And then the other is hallways represent connections. Light could be an expectation of a decision that was not met or made with regard to the light being on, then turned off. Feet represent mobility, activity, foundations, peace, binding the feet with rope, control, spiritual bondage, not able to move, activate yourself freely. So if you were going to put this into some understanding for her, what do you think the dream is saying?
Well, it sounded like she trusts her husband. I would have questions for sure. And I mean, binding the feet doesn't sound good to me, but like I said, the feeling I got was not good, but that doesn't dictate. Feelings don't dictate. It could be just going back to my experience when I felt like the rug was pulled out from under me when my husband snuck off to heaven early. So that was, I don't know. I don't know her.
And that's a good point, because you interpret dreams based on your experience. Even though it's somebody else's dream, we still come to them from our approach, from whatever, whatever type of mindset we have about things. That's how the dream is going to be interpreted. So that's something that you always want to be aware of. And then, because you don't know the person who sent the dream, then what would you do? If somebody sent you this dream to interpret and you have all these questions, what do you do?
Ask the questions to the person.
Ask the questions. That's exactly right. You would ask them. Or you could phrase the response, very specifically. Say, it could be this, it could be that. Right? Anything else? I mean, just looking at the dream, what do you think it's telling her?
It could be like a warning of some kind. I kind of got the feeling like it was either a warning or it was showing her something that had happened and maybe is to happen, and is showing her a way to combat against the either it's happened or it's going to happen, and is giving her kind of some insight on how to handle the situation, is what I'm kind of feeling.
Okay. Well, to give you some context, I would say that this person has been praying with me for the past couple of months about getting their ministry and business moving. So listening to that, knowing that portion, that bit of context, how does that help you? What does that do for you?
Sounds like she ain't moving if she's bound on the feet.
Right. And Kathy pointed that out. She said, feet represent mobility, activity, foundations, and peace. Binding the feet with rope, control, spiritual bondage, not able to move, activate yourself freely. So if you put those things together, what is the dream saying?
So is it, I automatically thought, okay, some kind of anxiety or fear or something is following her husband, and he is, because of that, he is, so if that's true, then the demons that are involved in the fear or anxiety would encourage him to stop her movement because of his fear or anxiety. That's what I would think.
Anything else?
What does it mean to turn off the light in the hallway? Is hallway like transition?
Sometimes transition, connection.
Okay. So he turned off the light in that area.
It could be a journey.
Yeah.
That was good. I didn't even pay attention to the light. But because like I said, I've been praying with this person for the past couple of months about actually getting moving,
Mhm.
going from idea to actual action and moving forward and that stuff, then I didn't even pay attention to the light. So that was a good one.
Mhm.
And I wasn't necessarily thinking about the hallway either. But when I heard the dream immediately, because I have contextual knowledge about this person and this situation, the dream was pretty obvious to me. And when I said it, when I explained to her what I saw in it, she was like, yes, that's accurate. But basically, what we've all put together here is correct. It required a little bit of context, which is not abnormal, right? Because everything is based on context. Dreams from the Lord have to do with, what specific thing he's addressing. So, full picture, this person is praying and praying and praying. They're saying, Lord, you've given me ministry ideas, you've given me business ideas, but nothing is happening right now. I'm kind of just sitting at home, being a mom, but I know I need to be contributing to society. I need to be contributing to the family, and I definitely want to be contributing to the kingdom.
Mhm.
So is that starting to make more sense to you?
Yeah.
But you see this a lot of times in the dynamic between a husband and a wife. This husband wants her to contribute to the family, to the ministry. He also wants her to have something that's fulfilling to her. But at the same time, he's also got these, restrictions and mindsets and things like that that limit her doing anything, right? Because it's the husband situation where it's like, well, I also want you home and I want you doing this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I also know you have these things to do. So she's got this push and pull. And then like that person behind her, like we said, it's either a demon. It might not necessarily be a demon. I thought it was more of a stronghold or a mindset that was influencing him to tie her up. Because he has this, traditional family mold, but that's not what the Lord has made her as. The Lord has made her as a mover and a shaker. She's going to be out there in front of people because like the dreams and the desires of her heart, the things that she wants to do, they require her to be out in front of people. So being that be at home when I get home and consistent schedule, blah, 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 and all this stuff, just be at home, work at home, making money that way. She could do that just starting out just so she could get moving, but that's not going to be her full destiny. And so he's going to have to come into that, understanding. And the Lord will do that. Holy Spirit will, shift his mindset so that he can come into agreement with that. But is the dream starting to make a little bit more sense knowing that stuff about her family and her
Yeah.
situation where she's coming from? Yeah. So I didn't necessarily, like I said, I didn't necessarily think the person behind her was a demon. Of course, it potentially could have been somebody who really wants to stop her destiny from going forward, like a demonic thing in that. But being that I know what this husband wants, I think it's a very strong mindset. It could be both, right?
Mhm.
It could be a demon that is, that has delivered that mindset to him, intentionally because they know that it's going to thwart her destiny that they don't want her to fulfill. Or it could just be his mindset wanting to do, oh, well, my wife doesn't have to work. And yeah, she makes a little bit of money at home and, doing this and that, but I'm the real breadwinner. And, she's there when I get there and the food's ready and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And not only that, to add to the lady, she has become an empty nester recently. So she really wants to be doing something, right?
Mhm.
Because she just took her last kid to college just a couple weeks ago, and she wants something to do. She wants something to do. And then another thing, back to what Patty was saying, was that she talked about the spirit of death and stuff like that being around the husband because that's her experience. Like my experience is that the laying in bed portion, like I'm that way. I don't move fast in the morning. Like I lay in bed just like talking myself up to enter the world for like an hour and a half before I actually get out of bed. Like I'm not one of those people who just jumps up and gets moving. And then so when I saw that in her, I was saying that, even though this is the husband that is, he's putting some effort into, keeping you from doing what you want to do and what the Lord may have called you to do. But at the same time, you're not up, running after anything every day. Because, some people, even if they're not morning people, Like there are some things that I can't wait to get up the next day to do, right? Even though I'm not a morning person, and I'll just get up and start doing them. But she's like sitting there just being comfortable and stuff like that. And I said, you also have to look at that portion of yourself. You know, you say that you want to be out doing things, but at the same time, are you running toward those things that you want, or are you comfortable with him tying your feet, right? And I asked her that when I was telling her what I said, did you fight back at all? And she said, yeah, actually, I was, trying to kick him off, but, at the same time, if she was running for that destiny, just imagine the dream would have been a little bit different as far as fighting him off. You know what I mean? Like if she was actually running toward that destiny, think about it, because nobody can stop your destiny but you. Would he have been able to tie her feet up? No, she would have already been out of bed running after that destiny. So that is something that I also mentioned to her simply, but that came from personal experience, being that, like you have these ideas and stuff like that. Are you really ready to do them? Or do you have your own fear? Are you also comfortable the way things are, even though you still want a little bit more? Because think about that. There are a lot of people who want a lot more, but they're also comfortable wherever they're at, and they're not chasing after that more. So I chase after my more like crazy. I just do it in the middle of the night as opposed to first thing of the day, So lots of good stuff there, and a little short, quick dream, but lots of revelation caused her to think about some things and really make some decisions. And guess what? After I gave her that statement and I said, are you sure that you really want to go after some things, or are you just, are you also comfortable? Which of course you're going to be a little bit comfortable. You've been, just doing a little bit here and there because you've had kids and your husband for all these years. And now all of a sudden you do have time because you're an empty nester. But after I had her think about that, are you really ready to go out there? She volunteered to be one of our tech volunteers, our tech interns. So she said, yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to do something.
How many do we have now?
Just the two, the same two.
Okay.
The same two. But we went from 0 to 2 in a day. So, and I've been asking for a tech intern for more than a year.
But that's when the Lord said about you wanted the 50, was it 56 or 54 million?
54.
And then he said, but you're not doing anything. So once you started moving, boom, all of a sudden volunteers showed up.
Yes.
2 of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So really interesting. So lots of things we can glean from this. Not to mention the dream, but context. Really, really important context. And then of course, I know that I've said this before, but lots of people, even my mentor, when they're teaching about dreams and stuff, and they talk about being very careful about bringing your personal opinions and history and stuff in there. But you can't separate yourself, from that. That's who you are, right? And Holy Spirit works through that. He knows how you're framed, how you put together, what things you learned from, what things you didn't learn from. And you can use all of that to your benefit to interpret the dream. You can also use it for contrast, right? Like Patty realized, she said, this might be my experience, right? You can use it to compare and contrast, or to, help interpret the dream and stuff like that. Either way. But I have never been one of those people who's afraid of, people's personal experience when it comes to interpreting dreams, because we're individuals, right? And literally, what things are you ever completely objective in? That's just not really how we operate, how we function. And it doesn't have to be that way. And it doesn't have to, present itself as a deterrent to you being a good interpreter or a seer or anything. That's not, I think those things add to you, who you are, putting things together, all of that. But that was a really, really cool dream, because, you're sitting here praying with somebody, talking things out with somebody for a couple of months. And then the Lord is like, okay, I'll let you know what is going on here. And, and look how fast she turned around. Like within a week's time, she went from being comfortable to saying, no, I'm going to start taking some steps to prove that I am hungry for this destiny. I want to participate in this destiny. So that was exciting. That was exciting. Yes. And this is another thing. Also, when we were talking about it, she said that he tied her legs up with twigs when she was, going back over the dream. He pulled twigs out of his pockets and was tying her feet up with that. Does anybody have any insight into that part?
I heard where she had said twigs, but I just didn't grasp the concept or the meaning behind that.
Yes, the twigs, if you look in the Bible, God's constantly talking about trees and things, right? Well, we have a soul garden. Those seeds that we plant, those mindsets, what do they become? Trees, right? So if he's pulling twigs out of his pocket, that's another reason that led me to believe that it was a mindset, because that's what they are in your soul garden. Those are trees, your mindsets. They are the biggest things in your soul garden that have to be plucked up to replace with God's good trees.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense. Okay.
No. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. And then I'm wondering I don't know what his response was when she shared the dream with him, but I would be interested to know. And I'd be interested to know if she shared the interpretation with him, because, like that little bit of information can help start to set him free, because that's the understanding of the Lord going forth, and it will begin to transform him. And he's going to need time. The Lord can do it, but so that there's no issue when she gets out there in front of people or starts getting super busy or whatever, then, he has to be prepared for that, and has to be prepared to let her go be who she's been created to be. Because she's one of those people, she's like, I'm always dreaming about, being in front of groups, talking to people. And I was like, well, go. Just go. Just go.
Amen.
Go. Yeah, so really interesting. That was a great dream. I liked that one.
It's really amazing to get breakthrough from the Lord in areas that are holding us back, or we mostly are hold back ourselves.
Yes. Yeah, that's my experience. I'm bad at that. I used to be bad at that. Now I'm like, I got to get this fixed so I can move forward. And the next time we have class, it's going to be the first Mondays, which is on YouTube. And I'm going to talk about, again, I've talked about this before, but knowing the difference between dreams that are from you and dreams that are from the Lord. That's something that's really important.
Yes.
That people need to pay attention to. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's so hard to explain, but you can just tell when a dream is from you and when a dream is from the Lord. Like they're not the same. They're just not the same. I don't even know. I'm assuming that he's going to give me right words, but just like dealing with the dreams that I've been dealing with lately is that's something that needs to be addressed again. So I'll figure it out.
I do know that when you hear from the Lord, when he speaks to you, when you know it's you, when you say, I think I'm going to do this. So I know that is a good way to tell. And I know that when the Lord talks to me, it's a lot of times outside of my box if I'm looking for answers completely. And then the enemy, it's condemning and guilt and all that nasty stuff. So I don't know if that is similar to the dream state.
Well, in the dreams, I know one thing that's easier to explain is that the way the Lord story tells is very distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's very specific. It's just, and another thing I could tell them, like jumbled dreams, like that's an easy way to tell that's more processing, like you processing what you watched on TV, what you've heard, blah, 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 all that stuff. But the Lord, like just the way he tells stories and, one of the other things that I've noticed is that like when you do group interpretation, if it's a dream from the Lord, like there are little bits and pieces that other people pick out that other people don't get. So specifically, like Kathy noticed the hallway and the light going on and off. Like I didn't pay any attention to that, right? But that's one of those things that like when a dream is from the Lord, it's like it's like when everybody gets together, you get the full picture, a fuller picture. Does that make sense? So it's like people pull out a piece that other people, even though it's there because you either read the dream in writing or you heard it, whatever, but you don't, like that part doesn't register for you, but it registers for somebody else. And the Lord's dreams are like that all the time. That's one of the reasons that I love reading the Bible with people, because I'm like, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? And then somebody else goes back and says, no, but I saw this. Did you see that? No, I didn't see any of that. Right? Because that's the way he tells a story. It's like you have details hidden in plain sight, but it takes the addition of the body to get the entire
full picture.
Yeah. If that made sense to you, then I can share that portion on that Monday's lesson. But yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. And just like she said in that recording, her dreams are increasing. Everybody's dreams are increasing. This TV show that I'm about to put out for kids, I completely loosed dreams so that when they watch it, they begin having dreams and stuff like that from the Lord. So I put a disclaimer at the end and I said, your kids are going to start having dreams. They may start telling you they're going to have encounters and stuff like that. Don't tell them it's their imagination, that it's not happening. Don't doubt them. And I was like, and if you need help interpreting dreams, our ministry can do that for you. But just know that that's going to happen when they start watching this show each week, because that was one of the things I specifically said, that they would have miracle signs and wonders manifesting through them, so that their parents would be like, wait a second, something is going on with my kid, and then be an influence to the parents. And when I was talking to the angels about it, they were like, yes, you spoke that, so we're going to help. I was like, awesome. But yeah, so dreams are picking up again right now, which makes sense because we're about to head into God's new year next month. So, and this is the month of Elul, when the king is in the field. So there's a time he's super available to you. Dreams, people should be dreaming. I've been dreaming a whole lot, like the last week for some reason. I mean, just like even increase for me. Like, I go through seasons and cycles where, a little bit of dreams, some dreams, regular dreams. And then this last week, it's been like, to the point where you dream so much, your sleep is not good. So it's all right. It'll be over in a little while.
Yeah,
any questions, comments, anything?
No, that was really good. That was really cool.
Yeah, very exciting, very cool.
It is exciting. The Lord's doing a lot of stuff. Kathy, let me pray for your business. I'm so excited about your business. I love your business. How's everything going?
It's going good. It's building. It's definitely building. God's definitely, I see him working. And like I said, when people come in, I can minister to them. They don't even know I'm ministering to them. And then I was talking to Patty about some of the dogs, and the dogs kind of going crazy on the table. But when you got, instead of like the secular world music playing like they do at the corporation, I have worship music playing or instrumental music playing, and you can see the difference in the people and the animals that come in. And it's just very calming. It's a very peaceful atmosphere. And I've even had customers say, wow, it's really got a peaceful presence in here.
Mhm.
So
That's good. That's good. Do you make decrees throughout your garage and stuff when you're walking?
that was since we started painting it and renovating it, like every day.
Make sure you speak.
Yeah.
Just load up the spiritual walls with everything that you want to happen. You'll probably be able to see this once I explain it to you if you didn't already know or haven't already seen it. But that stuff that you're speaking in that room gets written on the walls in the spirit. So
I haven't seen that yet, but
yes,
I've seen it in the dreams. So
yeah. Just be
Yeah.
speaking what you want into that room. Seal that room up real good so that no kind of foolishness can come in there. Nothing
all
that
the time,
you
all the
want.
time.
Any of that, and just speak, like release, just money dripping off of your walls left and right, just stacked up. Every time you come in there, just money, money, money. Every time you walk in there, just imagine like hearing ching, 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 and just speak that all around your room so that it is just loaded with cash all the time, all the
We do
time, all the
that. We do
time.
that. My
That's what
husband
this
and
new
I do.
year is about. 5784 is about using your words to open portals to receive from heaven. So, I mean, just, and believe the biggest, expect the biggest. Do not for a second allow any kind of, this is not going to work out. This won't be able to happen. I won't be able to do this. Just get all of that out.
I rebuke
Just
that
take
already.
everything, take
Yeah.
everything, take everything, take everything, take everything. Like, just, it doesn't matter how ridiculous it is. I don't care if no pet groomer has ever made $1 trillion in a year. Start speaking that over your business, like the most ridiculous thing that you can believe for, and don't even stop there. Just ridiculous. Absolutely.
Yeah, God's given me
That's
ideas
the
for
type
all
of
kinds of
stuff that
stuff.
he's doing right
All
now.
kinds of stuff.
Ridiculous.
He's given me ideas for pet products, clothing, accessory line.
I agree. Yes, and you know how to sew and stuff. Oh my
all
gosh.
that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I know one thing that believers, I don't know where they're at right now, but if they are paying attention to what's going on in the spirit, the Lord wants to explode your business. Like he's always wanted to explode Christian businesses, but right now it's like basically he will take anybody who's just willing to do something and he'll load you up with cash simply because enough people are not making an effort as a Christian business to understand that they could be millionaires, billionaires, whatever it is. So if you present yourself that way to him, he'll make it happen. He'll start bringing money in left and right. Boom, 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 boom. I'm pulling in money into this ministry like this with doing nothing, like literally doing nothing. So, so I check like the bank account like once a week, once every other week, something like that. And I was telling everybody, I think I testified this last week or something, but it was like when I finished writing all the checks at the beginning of August, I was like, this is going to wipe me out. I'm not going to have any money. And I said, no, I'm not going to say that. I have everything that I need all the time. This ministry is fully funded. So I switched my confession and said, no, this ministry is fully funded. So by the time, like on August 7th or whatever it was, 14th, whatever it was, when all the checks for the beginning of the month had cleared, and we have a lot of stuff due in August because we started in July, right? So like I had to renew and everything. I try to pay everything, in the years instead of, monthly payments when I can. So I have a lot of stuff due in August and in September. And then when all the checks cleared for the 1st of August, I have more money in the account than when I started before I paid the bills.
Amen.
And listen, have we been doing a giving campaign or anything? No, we haven't had to do that. Haven't had to do that. And so I was declaring over everybody at Monday's Bible study. I was like, I declare that over you. Every time you pay your bills at the beginning of the month and you have more money after you pay all of your bills than you did when you started. Because if it can happen in this ministry, then it can happen in your household. There's no reason to expect differently. That's our God.
That's our God.
That's our God. All right. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Night, night.